that Archangel holding an American flag?
Why, yes, it is.
All right. Just making sure.
America. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your host, Nelson.
Ed.
We are doing the damn thing this weekend.
Lots to talk about today. Things happen.
Definitely. First opinions, 4th of July. Happy birthday, America.
Yep.
Happy birthday, freedom.
Yes.
And fuck you, England.
Yeah. Think we had ourselves a nice time over the 4th of July. A little fun, a little drink, a little food.
Finger check. 10.
Yes.
Yeah, no, all
10,
there.
10.
All 8 still
right.
here. And shit.
Oh,
All right,
oh,
10.
fuck.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah.
We did our thing, so
Nobody was harmed.
no. Coming off of that, we had some pretty good movie going experience, I would say. And I'm going to be, one of the first of us to admit I really liked Love and Thunder.
I enjoyed it.
Thor was great.
I enjoyed it as well. There are some things that we're going to dive into. And
Yes.
So if you're a spoiler person, just turn it off.
The movie was essentially what I was hoping and expecting. I was expecting it to be a comedy.
Yes.
They've already made it very clear. The Thor series is going to be our comedy movies. They brought Taika back again to direct again. It's
Waikiki.
like we know what we're getting here.
Yes.
I mean, Thor Ragnarok up until this point, like I guess Thor Ragnarok was like the best comedy in the Marvel series so far.
Yes.
And of all the humor that is brought to it, Ragnarok was like the pinnacle.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite Marvel films was Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But you also
Still
didn't
is.
expect it to be that funny of a movie.
Right.
No.
I think a lot of people are discounting that when they first watched it. It was a surprise it was that much of a comedy.
Sure.
So now you're going into the next one already expecting it to be a comedy. You lose a little bit of the surprise of the fun of the movie when you're going into it.
But still, despite some critics, I think it delivered with the comedy. I thought we laughed a lot. I thought people in the movie theater were laughing a lot.
Yep.
And there was a little bit of fan service to people of all ages, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the
The
ride.
screaming goats really helped.
We
The
were
screaming goats were something I didn't know I needed in my life.
yeah, we were in a packed theater, and I don't think anybody was disappointed. Everybody was laughing. We were in a good theater when we were watching it.
We were.
Yeah, especially Ian during the World War II
no,
Schindler's
no.
List type of movie credits. The
whole movie.
the trailer before the movie.
There's a trailer. There's a trailer playing.
Yes.
And there's like a kid with a disability or whatever that shows
Wonder,
up on the
correct.
screen. And I hear this to my right. The theater's quiet. I hear this. Ew. I look over and Nelson's hiding from me. He's hiding. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, because
Come
I
on,
was so
don't do
embarrassed that my brother Edward was like, ew, to this disfigured child.
What? No.
During a Holocaust
No.
movie trailer preview.
I merely
which he-
expressed in the silence of the theater, I'm not going to go see that.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
oh, yeah.
right.
I think somebody said, is this Peter Pan? I was like, sir,
Because at
this
this
is not
point,
Peter Pan.
cut Germany a break. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
We're
like,
making
it's-
bad films about them.
Yeah,
For,
let's be honest about the movie. They're taking the main character from Wonder, the kid with the disability, his kind of enemy, the shit kid, and they're bringing him to a whole new movie where he gets to play shit kid again, and he's getting talked to by an old lady who's giving him a Nazi story.
Right.
This is so far removed from the original Wonder movie.
Yeah.
Why make this poor kid be asshole number one again in a whole nother movie to tell a Nazi story from like 100 years prior? Just make a whole new movie.
Maybe everybody's doing the Marvel thing now.
It's not necessary.
Right.
Maybe he is stuck as asshole kid number one. And now there's going to be a whole asshole verse.
Right, yeah, asshole
That
verse.
all build off Wonder. So maybe.
That I'd watch. The asshole
The
verse.
asshole verse? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was the perfect trailer.
That
just
sounds like a group of movies that I don't think would be appropriate. The asshole verse.
But it's the perfect movie to lighten the mood before Thor,
Absolutely.
Love,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Thunder.
The
There's
opening
about to be
trailer.
a funny romantic comedy style Marvel movie. Let's play a
Let's
fucking
talk
let's
about
bring the mood
Holocaust
all
film.
the way down.
Nazis.
Yeah.
That's what we want to worry about.
No,
before
I
Thor:
mean,
Love and Thunder.
for Thor: Love and Thunder, I thought the action was on point. I thought the comedy was on point. I liked the plot line. Christian Bale
was
stole
my
the
favorite
show.
part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stole the show. Absolutely.
As Gore the God Butcher, he was insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I liked when they went to like the whole black and white noir kind of
the
a
dark
feel,
verse. Yep.
for some of the fight scenes, and they definitely opened up the world more to the gods again. I think they're really letting everybody know, like, yo, the
Yes.
gods are gonna play a huge part
I mean-
with the superheroes, because now the gods are feeling like, hey,
There was a bunch of them too.
the
There was
superheroes are
Ze-
feeling
Zeus, kind of the king of omnipotent city there, is feeling a little slighted. He's sending his son to go do some work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But they opened up a lot, because it wasn't just all of the gods there, Quetzalcoatl being part of it, which is
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the god of dumplings?
Oh yeah,
on.
there's
Yeah.
carpenter somewhere. They didn't show him.
Yes,
He's there.
Yes, they said the god of carpentry. I'm like, is this Jesus? Are they just gonna brush over Jesus?
But in the fight scene,
God of carpentry.
in the fight scene there in the temple, you have the Watcher being shown. You have the Living Tribunal being shown. You have a Celestial, which is potentially the one above all, being shown. You have Eternity
was
in
gonna
there,
say
which
that at one
brings
point.
in like Eon and Epoch
Yep.
and all of these other concept larger than life characters.
That was a hell of an Easter egg. I was
Like-
going to ask at one point, is that the Living Tribunal? I was
Yes.
like, what?
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, they're
Why'd
at
they
the
ask for
point
his
where they're showing like the gods of
helped
the
out.
gods.
Because everybody's watching Zeus bounce lightning between his.
The Living Tribunal
his
is
legs
so
and
much
shit.
stronger than Zeus. Why didn't they just ask for his help?
Well, they only step. They're essentially the court. They only step in for particular reasons.
I was
Right.
gonna say, why is I guess I was gonna say, I was like, why the hell is Zeus the toughest dude leading that? I was like, Living Tribunal is one of the most powerful beings in all Marvel.
I mean, listen, Zeus did take a thunderbolt into the chest and survived at the
Yeah.
end there. I mean,
I guess.
he had his menagerie of hoes
he
at
wa-
the end
he
there,
was
just
more-
like fanning
he
him
wa-
off and like treating his wounds.
He was
He's
more
like-
annoyed than hurt.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Russell Crowe has fallen a long way since
Yeah.
Cinderella Man.
From
He is,
his looks. But he still delivered as an actor.
He was fantastic.
I totally
That
bought
was
into
great.
the
He-
douchebaggery.
well, he was good. He was good, but that Greek accent was fucking horrible.
Oh,
that
oh
was
my
like,
god, that was Greek?
It's borderline Italian. That's
That
what
was
I'm saying.
Greek? I was like, damn.
I was like, wait a minute. Are you Zeus or Jupiter? What your accent throwing me off here, man?
You know
What
what?
the hell's happening
He's
here?
been around a while. Maybe his accent got a little mixed around here
Yeah,
and there. You
yeah.
know, it's
Yeah, he's also puffy. He's a little puffy.
I
That's
wa-
okay.
I
It's
was
all right. Puffy
happy-
Zeus. It's okay.
I was happy though, going back to the goats, that one of the goats got into the action scene and was doing a little fighting,
Yes.
and I was like, yeah, get at it, screaming goat.
Oh yeah, the fight. Yeah, the goat got into it.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
crashed into the planet. That was
Yes.
funny as hell.
Oh, that was fucking
When
hilarious.
the landing, I think, got me. Like when they
Yeah.
first landed on the planet, and it stops for a little. Like the ship comes in like a rainbow, and then it finally lands. And then you just hear that fucking goat just scream. I was in. That
It's
made-
amazing because I expected the screaming to get old, and it didn't. It
Yeah.
was funny the whole way through.
It was. But
and
I-
they really tried to push female Thor too. They really did. I mean, they even
the
like,
mighty Thor,
she's-
sir.
yeah, she
Yes.
corrected.
The mighty
she
Thor.
even corrected
God.
Thor.
Yeah,
It's
you-
not easy. I mean, you just got to get cancer and pick up Mjolnir. That's it. That's all. You know. That's all you got to do.
okay, so I'll bring it back. There was.
So you read. So I got cancer. I read a book that says, "Oh, Mjolnir gives you great health."
No, there was a
Then I
point.
pick it up.
There was a point in the movie where he tells Mjolnir
Yes.
to
Mjolnir?
protect her at all costs.
He did. Yeah, he did. do
Yeah.
that.
And then it glue, the
Yeah,
little
it-
symbol came out. That was him kind of imbuing his own
The same way his
spell
father did. He kind of put a rune
onto
on
the
it.
hammer
Yes.
to take care of her.
I see
Because
it.
love is a powerful thing. so-
Yeah, that's what. It's the end of the movie. Oh, we love.
And
We all want.
and then later he also does it again where he temporarily imbues everybody with the power of Thor.
and,
Which some people have a problem
Everyone,
with. Shay.
listen, the greatest fight scene ever on any movie. Shay will agree.
no. This is
Totally in on this one.
This is where I tend to agree with my little brother. I tend to
Okay.
agree with him. Like I was a little thrown off too when this was happening in the movie, but I figured in the moment I was enjoying the movie.
Right.
Yes.
And I was like, fuck it.
And
Like,
it was
we're all
fun.
having fun.
It was
We're all
fun.
having fun.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
a little girl with a fucking doll that's killing things.
Yes,
like,
teddy bear.
But when you think about it,
Laser eyes.
what
Who
in the
doesn't like laser eyes?
what in the irresponsibility? Like we have this
What
army
in
of
the
demons. We have this army of demons in front of us. Like, and that's one thing I also had a complaint with is how underpowered Gore was. Like
Yeah.
even the mighty Thor, and Valkyrie fighting him at the same time, they still would probably maybe all die
Right.
if you go by how strong Gore is in the
Yeah.
comics. His minions are really strong too. They
Yeah.
have overwhelmed Thor as well. So the fact that he just like shared his power with these children and they charged, and no, they would have all been slaughtered. That movie would have been R, maybe even TVMA with kid body part. It would have made Stranger Things the final scene.
it would have been Disney Plus ready because Darth
Oh, dude.
Vader is murdering children
Dude,
left and right.
It would have it would have been right on par with the last season of Stranger Things. There would have been
Yes.
children being massacred
Yes.
everywhere.
Now that is the one thing I did expect that they didn't do is I was expecting he would have to power up and gain control of the Odin force, making it the Thor force for him to be
Beat
on
Gore.
par with Gore and win.
Yeah.
They're saving that.
And also,
Clearly,
isn't Gore like insanely devoted to his like? He's like insanely devoted to his thing to kill all gods. That's his purpose for being.
Yes, he's almost.
Why did he
an
flip the
evangelist.
switch?
Evangelist.
I know the sword was
Yeah.
destroyed, which, by the way, you can't just destroy the necro sword that easily.
Yeah, that one was a little weird, but she did mostly absorb it into the hammer.
I guess, and then the lightning. I don't know. But anyway, so let's say, fine, she somehow destroys the necro sword. But when Gore's gonna make that wish, there's no way he just flips the switch and goes, "Oh, it's right, love. I'll bring
Right.
my daughter back for 5 seconds and then have her raised by a god, the people I hate." I mean, I don't know, man. I mean,
There were a couple of small
I'm
inconsistencies.
saying this. I'm saying this as someone who still enjoyed the film.
Yes,
and I
yes.
still say it wasn't a bad film. I still put Ragnarok above it. Though.
I think that
That's
they're
my
doing
opinion.
it with purpose. I think there's a continuity that they have to keep, which is as strong as Gore is supposed to be. These are the heroes that they need to fight off the
Yeah.
big celestial beings that are coming down the
They
pipeline.
gotta nerf
so they had
him
to establish
based on where
that they
Thor
are
is.
right, that they are still very much capable of fighting in that next level. Otherwise, you have to replace Earth's mightiest heroes when it
Otherwise,
comes to fighting off these
It,
big bads.
it
that
would
are
have
coming down the
required
pipeline.
an additional movie.
Yeah.
Like if they would have brought Gore full power, they would have had to have another movie.
I know. I was gonna say because I was like, man, like you gotta put some respect on the sword of Null.
Because you know,
Yes,
you
I
the
gotta
agree
be-
the
with
full
that.
team is only in there the first 5 minutes, and then you know.
Oh, the
gi-
Guardians of the Galaxy
He gives,
can't.
and then Thor gives him his ship. What a generous guy!
Yeah.
And then they leave with it.
I was gonna say the Guardians of the Galaxy, they kind of it was kind of a joke of how underpowered they were compared to Thor. It's
Yes.
like, you know they're kind of
Well,
like
and it was done really funny though.
they're
like,
traveling around with a guy they can't compete with.
right,
and it's
right,
like-
or keep under control.
it'd be like
That's the-
Superman hanging out with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like, they'd be like, "Can this guy just leave?" Like,
But I think that's what they were really trying to establish is that how powerful Thor is and how much more powerful he is going to become.
Yes.
Because I think he really is going to play a pivotal role, being like the last of the senior
he says
Avengers.
he
right?
says he doesn't want to. Chris Hemsworth's 38.
Yeah.
and he says he has no interest in like hanging up the mantle of Thor yet.
Yeah, I mean,
And I
why
think that's
give
great.
up a movie franchise that's paying you millions of dollars that everybody loves?
He never has to do anything again. And
No, and you
everybody
can- and-
adores you as the character.
No,
The
And if
God
you-
of Thunder.
And if you maintain and everything, you'll be fine. I mean, I watched Deadpool 2 last night again for like the 100th time.
Yeah.
Brolin is 54 years old.
Yeah.
What the like? He's shredded as
Yeah.
Cable.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
54.
he was much bigger in Marvel. He was like 7 foot tall.
Oh, wait,
No.
wait,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he had and the purple skin. Yeah, he had to go through some stuff for Thanos. But I'm just saying, like,
the surgery was extensive.
Bit of
Yeah.
a bulk. Bit of a bulk.
yeah. And supposedly he's coming back in Deadpool 3.
Interesting.
So I mean, what the hell? Like,
I hope they bring Bishop in this time.
I
You know,
think so. Idris Elba? No.
the rapper Method Man
who could they-
was saying he would like to play Bishop, and he put on some pretty interesting pictures of him dressed as Bishop, and I was like, damn, he really could sell that shit.
He
like,
actually
and he's been bulking
is
up
a
in the
big,
gym.
legit comic book nerd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He has a podcast where that's essentially. Well, actually, he has a official Marvel podcast.
Correct.
Um,
wow.
So but he bulked up a little while ago, like when Dr. Dre came in, and all of a sudden he was like 100 pounds bigger, and everyone was like, "Right, that's the next thing to do."
Yes, a lot of the rappers, even Busta Rhymes did.
Busta Rhymes, he was one of the first ones as well.
Nelly got big.
Yeah.
Nelly showed up at one point. I was like, what the hell? I was like, his 50 did it. Like 50 was like he showed up and he was obviously a big dude. Everybody got on gear.
A very skilled Hollywood trainer.
Yes.
And some good supplements.
A drug dealer. A drug dealer in Hollywood.
Never.
So not too far off of the way that Hollywood has been ran for a long time.
Now, don't get me wrong. These people still have to work hard, but they are getting extracurricular help.
For sure. But Thor, Love and Thunder, if I had to give it a rating, I would give it a solid 8.
Absolutely.
I'd give it an 8. I'd give it an 8, maybe an 8.5. But there are some things, if you're a comic book fan and you understand the background stuff, I mean, it was a good time. That's why he gave the kids powers, and that's why it was all this light. And the plot was rushed at times. It's like, you know.
But still, it was, we went in there knowing we were going to enjoy it. It wasn't going to take itself too seriously, and that's what we got.
I didn't go in there expecting like a deep drama art film. No. That's not what I went in there for. I went in there for color and light and Thor,
having a good ass time.
And really, the whole time, Thor's like, another classic Thor tale. I mean, the whole movie is essentially being narrated by Korg.
Sure.
He opens it up, and that's really what's going on. Yes.
Korg is the voice of the director, so it's like, all right.
Did anyone else notice that Korg's lover was Takiki Wakiki? He named him Jeff, right? But he had the same Takiki Wakiki mustache. If you think about it, I'm like, wait a second. The director threw himself in there.
And they reproduced by holding hands
in lava.
That's so awful.
With that being said, I
mean, it's not like the Northmen where you have to like eat hallucinogenic mushrooms.
No.
Yeah.
They
understand the depth of Viking culture to watch it. I mean,
no, they lived that lifestyle. I enjoyed it. I
did.
So,
I did too.
Jumping into the next thing that I finally got the chance to finish, Stranger Things 4.
Ooh,
really
season.
A fantastic show, man. This final season delivered not only
the best season by far.
Wrapping up some of the story. I hope they come back. I know they were saying
also
that
spoilers.
it's going to be the last.
So we're going into
this whole episode spoilers. I really enjoyed where it went with the show. It was dark at times. It was dark all the time.
Super dark. They had to release the disclaimer because of the way that Vecna was taking out the kids.
Yeah,
I mean, they had to be like, we're sorry for the recent events in the world, but
this is the show.
We already filmed this.
We already filmed this, and we ain't refilming it. So.
It was done really well.
I mean, when you think about it, that's a pretty. I mean, think about like I'm trying to think, and I can't like. That's a pretty gruesome way to take out a kid. I mean, because he's targeting children specifically. I mean, literally levitate. Break your arms and legs, your eyes explode, and then your corpse drops to the earth. I mean, that's
don't forget the jaw.
Oh
yeah, he went in on the jaws.
But when
you get all the ring, you get all the ring.
Yeah.
When you think about the movies that it was kind of based off of back in the 80s, the movies that would pass as kids movies like The Goonies wouldn't pass as a kids movie anymore.
You mean like
No.
Gremlins?
No.
Gremlins also,
Gremlins.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, kind of the era that they're basing that show on, and those movies.
Oh,
it's not too far outside of what they were doing.
It's funny you say that. You brought up the Goonies because I was watching Deadpool 2 last night.
Right.
He says to Brolin at one time. He says, "Easy One-Eyed Willie," because he was in the Goonies.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin was actually in the Goonies. There's so many. Anyway, but that's a whole.
No, they're fantastic. They're fantastic.
But no, Stranger Things. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I thought it was going to be the last season, but it's definitely not because now the way they ended it, I
know they announced
need to bring it back
as being the last, but I think like anything else they do, if
they probably looked at the
people
paycheck
are
and they were
watching
like, nah.
enough of it and it's enough of a draw and they can write another good story.
It's the second Netflix show ever to go over 1 billion views.
Jesus.
1 out of every 7 people on the planet has watched Stranger Things.
I am one of the ones that haven't.
Yeah, well, you need to get on board, man, because the show really is.
Have you seen any of it at all?
None. I haven't had a chance to start it at all.
And when you start it, like you're gonna. My hesitations, at least, I'm a fan of horror. I'm a fan of 80s sci-fi, all that. When I was like, I don't really want to. I had just watched it. I was like, I don't really want to get like kids.
Another movie with kids.
What I said. Another movie with kids being like I was like, I don't. How am I gonna get into this? I loved it.
Yeah.
I was alarmed at how I was like, I really enjoy this. I can give a shit. I was like, what's happening in this town?
because
of Hawkins?
it's
What's
good
happening?
storytelling,
Very good
good
storytelling.
acting. The premise behind it is really dope, and the premise evolves in a way that feels natural as well. From season 1 to season 4, they don't.
And there's
it doesn't
characters
feel
you can
rushed.
relate to.
Yes.
There's characters you're like, I remember a dickhead like that.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember that kid.
I
in
remember a
school.
nerd like that.
That fucking kid. I remember that kid.
I remember Jerry Curl Juice. I remember that.
That kid with like the little shitty rat stash. That's her older brother. Max's older brother. What's his name?
Yes.
Billy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah,
He's like portrayed as a sex symbol. I'm like, get out of
He
here.
owned
maybe
that
in the
season.
80s,
He
maybe
did,
in
yeah.
'85.
Well,
he was
don't
a
worry,
sex
because
symbol.
all of those looks are coming back.
No,
that is something
no.
that we noticed the last time we went to Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Is people legitimately rocking those haircuts?
Yes.
Good.
The
No,
patties,
not
the,
good.
Good.
the-
Not good.
The Jerry curls.
Let's fuck it up. Let's
the
do
clothes
it.
was coming back. I was like, what is
And a
going
bunch of
on
dudes
here?
with pearl necklaces for some reason. I saw like half a dozen dudes with pearl necklace. I don't know where it's from.
You know what they say about
but-
pearl necklaces?
That's actually a term for something else.
Oh no, it
That's
is.
a calling card, my friend.
It is, but like dudes wearing pearl necklaces. I don't know.
I've given a couple pearl necklaces.
Well,
you know
speaking
what I'm
of
saying?
like weird trends, like have you guys seen what was going on in the Minion movies? So there's a group of kids that were wearing suits
Oh boy.
and going to watch the Minion movies. They started this whole like trend online. They were actually stopping people at the movies if you were wearing a suit to go watch the Minions. It's fucking hilarious that like it got to the point where they're like,
I
oh,
saw a video of
this
that there
is
was like a whole
dangerous.
shit ton of them. There was
Yeah.
there was a whole theater full of them.
It was
It was
a little
creepy.
movie. Yeah,
it was
is.
kids wearing suits watching the movie. I was like, I'd leave. I'd get up and fucking leave. If I was the only guy in the
No,
movie theater.
that's fandom nowadays. Is
I guess.
dress up for the thing.
As long as it's all positive.
They
who
call
gives
it
a shit?
#Gentle Minions.
Oh no.
And they would go dress in suits. It was a TikTok trend apparently,
well-
and then everybody started doing it. But I'm like, they're not hurting
As
anybody.
long as they
Who
don't
gives a
start,
fuck?
as long as they don't start getting together and having gangbangs and murdering people, we're fine. Like,
Maybe that's exactly why they were stopping them. They're like,
Yeah.
in the back of the theater.
there's
we
so
have-
much there's so much Uber loop.
Yes, there's Zeus yelling, "You're not invited to the orgy.
You're not coming to the orgy.
You're not coming to the orgy, sir." By the way, the greatest line in Marvel history is, "You're not invited to the orgy."
You're not invited to the orgy.
Never once have I thought going into a Marvel movie will I hear Russell Crowe deliver those beautiful lines like, "You're not invited to the orgy." Let's say, you know what? That is a pretty bad threat. You know what I mean? That's messed up, man.
Yeah, if there's an all-powerful celestial orgy, it's probably definitely worth at least
Oh yeah.
at least taking a look. It's probably better than Hero-gasm.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
The
definitely
boys.
say so. No, but back to Stranger Things too. I really thought the time scale that they chose each episode was interesting because some of those episodes were from like an hour 20 to 2 hours.
The final
Per
episode,
episode.
the final episode, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
It was like mini movies.
yeah, it's an investment. It's
Yeah.
like watching Saving Private Ryan. I
Yeah.
mean, you're in it.
But they told the story the way that they needed to. So I hope that it's more of a trend for more stuff because right
that
now
song,
we're
the damn
look-
song they brought back.
yeah,
Run up that hill.
the music was great throughout Stranger Things 4 as well.
The
too.
Master of Puppets guitar solo.
Even
by
that
Eddie
other
Munson.
song by the singer.
It's amazing. All the music that was satanic back in the 80s is fucking everywhere and everybody loves it.
Oh, dude, they
Yeah,
were
it was-
they were making a joke of that in Stranger Things. The D&D group.
Yes.
They say they actually accused the D&D club of being a satanic
Yes.
cult.
Which
Yeah.
they did back then
oh,
for,
they
with
really
D&D.
did. They did the same
my
thing with
God.
Magic,
The Magic
the
the Gathering, yeah.
So "Running Up That Hill" by Kate Bush. That was
Yes.
that was like the song for the good guys to like play in her ears.
when
to ward
Vecna
off
is
the
when
evil.
Vecna's killing you or trying to kill you, there's one song there's a song you can listen to that will pull you out. It can
Yes.
save you from. It can take your mind away from his control.
Yeah.
And so music is very important to save
yes.
you.
So it was whatever song was the most important to you, and that was her song. Is Kate Bush running up that hill?
Also, in the final season of The Boys, every single episode, someone has a different band shirt on. it's ridiculous.
They're
Like,
really trying to
every-
bring back rock in the heavy metal scene, and you know what? Fuck it, bring it back, man.
Might as well.
Bring it back, because and not only in Stranger Things 4, but shit, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
They were hitting that
4
hardcore,
songs from that Guns N' Roses album.
Yeah.
Yes,
4.
hardcore rock, man. They were bringing that shit back. I'm with it, man.
Yeah.
They
might
did
as
a
well.
good job, you know.
I would love for a revival of metal. That would be great.
Yeah, my favorite villains though were the Screaming Chickens.
In the beginning?
in
Oh,
Love
dude.
and Thunder.
What's
Those
that?
chickens were vile.
When I saw that chicken on that turret screaming, I was like, are we in the right movie? What the hell is this shit?
I've
Like,
never seen them in any Marvel comics, but they have to exist somewhere.
it was the director.
yeah.
He said, make the alien race a bunch of aggressive chickens. And they said, fuck it, you know? This is the same guy that said, all right, we're going to have an army of children fight Gore's demons.
This all they needed to do was bring in Jar Jar Binks at the end. And
They need a
would've just
director.
tied it in a
They need a
pretty little
director's
bow.
cut. They need a director's cut where like Thor goes back to Asgard with just a pile of dead children and limbs, just like Heimdall's little kid with his jaw ripped off. Just like,
yeah.
this is what would have happened if they would have fought
I'm
Gore's
with it.
minions.
I'm down.
Of course, the R-rated version. I'm on board.
So we've seen some interesting trailers.
And some uninteresting trailers.
And some uninteresting trailers. That is for
there's
sure.
some ones I won't be seeing.
Like
the Woman King. I ain't watching that.
I'm not. I'm just.
I
not
already saw
interested
Black
in it.
Panther.
It's
I
like,
saw
it's
Black
like
Panther.
Black Panther 1.5 is what it
I
looks like.
saw it.
It's
I saw it.
just not an interesting movie for me. But what did look good was.
But hear me out. What if Black Panther was a woman?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And-
Amsterdam with Christian Bale.
Amsterdam with Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, Chris Rock,
The craziest cast I've seen
Robert
in a while.
De Niro,
Mike Myers.
Myers. Like
It's an absurd.
it looks
Rami Malek?
Yes, yeah, it looks fucking good.
It does. It looks really good.
So I'm down for that ride. It looks like it's based somewhat on a true story, is what
Yeah.
they're saying.
I'm gonna see it. I can
And
guarantee you, based off that trailer, I'm going to see it.
Leaving the superhero realm, that looked like a really good movie to watch.
It's nice to step out and see a movie that is good. Like for me, The Northman was one that I enjoyed that was completely outside of anything I normally see. Top Gun. Top Gun was good because it was like you watched it and it was like, wow. Remember a time when they just made simple action films
Yes.
that you could just go like get your popcorn, get your drink,
You could tell a story that's not connected to a larger
and you
universe.
don't need to know shit. Just
Right.
sit down and
And
enjoy
watch
what
it.
you're looking
I mean,
at.
you could tell a Nazi story without dragging in
Right.
some poor kid from
Some
another
disfigured
movie.
kid that Nelson's
damn,
gonna
Eddie,
make fun
let
of in
it
the fucking movie.
go. Let it go. That kid is disgusting. So Top Gun.
Oh, we cast asshole number 2.
For the asshole verse, right? I'm gonna be the king of the assholes in the asshole verse.
There you go.
Like Madam Web just sitting there on my throne, spinning my
you're-
little asshole story.
Your throne made of assholes.
I don't know about sitting on.
Oh,
a
I
throne
wouldn't
made of
touch that.
assholes.
I wouldn't touch
Yeah,
that
man.
throne if I were you.
Yeah, no.
Could get sticky.
That's all the Uber
Yeah,
loop.
every time I turn
Ooh,
around.
hello. We're still not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Step your
Come
game
on,
up, Uber
guys.
Lube. What the
fuck
hell?
are you doing here?
Jesus, we're pushing your
You
product.
know,
you
there
wouldn't
was a
believe.
kid that got sponsored destroying sex toys. So on his show,
We're
he
missing
would
out.
bring in like dildos and fake vaginas and whips and things like that and just test their durability by like blowing them up, beating them down, putting them in these ridiculous situations. But the most amazing part of this story is that there is a dildo out there called Moby Dick or something like that. And
How do we acquire this?
it's a huge dildo that him and his father, because you should definitely
Always try to include your dad.
when playing with dildos. No, don't do that.
Don't, no.
No,
We don't
but they
support
turned it into
that.
a race car that they were driving around.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool. That sounds like a great
Well,
like
it's-
bonding
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Like,
I thought that was a hilarious way to.
how fast did they get it?
I don't know, but we can't.
Can you
look
imagine?
this up.
Can you imagine flying around the track on a dildo like 60 miles an hour? Like you're just like sitting on it like.
Like that's one fast dick.
Exactly. You technically, you technically have the world's. It might be a world record. There's got to be like a
Yeah,
world
yeah.
record for the fastest motorized
There's
dildo.
a world record for everything.
Yeah.
Oh, my search history is going down the drain.
It's
right
okay.
now.
man. It's gonna be on par with mine. Don't worry. You're good.
I can't do this. No, I can't do this right now.
What was it? I'll do it.
No. I don't
do
even
it.
know the name of it. I'll have to find this kid. It's if you just type in dildo car, too many things pop up that you should not see.
I'll just look up world's fastest dildo. What could go wrong?
A lot. A lot can go wrong. I'm going to tell you this right now. So let's discuss another trailer that we thought was good. Eddie, what was the other one that you had on your list?
Oh, we had Shazam 2.
Shazam 2.
Wrath of the Gods.
We got
Fury of the Gods, I think.
Yes.
We got a little teaser, a little glimmer of what the Lord of the Rings of Power on Amazon Prime was going to
that as well. All right.
Everybody's crossing their fingers and holding their breath. That has to succeed.
I'm
great.
I'm
from the
hoping
trailers.
Amazon does become kind of the area for fantasy. Because right now, no one is really. I mean, there's some stuff popping up, but no one is like, oh, that's the spot you got to go for all the fantasy shows. And they're really kind of slowly getting there.
Exactly what I said.
My only hesitation with them doing the Lord of the Rings is they have the rights to the main books. They don't have the rights to the short stories and the earlier writings, which tell bits and pieces of the world from before, which means
the Silmarillion.
So they can't tell anything that comes too close to that story, or they could be infringing.
So wait a minute. Wait. They don't have the rights to Morgoth or any of that?
They only have the rights to the main books. So they don't have the ability to tell exactly. You see, that's the exact reaction I had when I heard this.
So you know more than me about this. So I have a question. As a fan of Tolkien, you're saying they only have the rights to The Hobbit and the Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and Return of the King. That's all they have.
Yes.
Okay. And they do not have the rights to the Silmarillion, which is all the collection of stories that actually makes up the lore and mythos of Tolkien.
Which would be the earlier stuff. Which
Correct.
would be important for when you're telling the show of the earlier stuff.
So you're saying they don't have the rights to that,
Yes.
and they're going to try to tell a story
So
that precedes.
The last time I checked, which wasn't that long ago, they had not had the rights to it, and that was a big issue that people were having. Was like,
My asshole
how are
just
you
puckered
telling?
up.
How are you telling the earlier
I don't like
story?
that. I don't like that at all.
Without the rights to the earlier stories.
But they can, though. They can tell a story vaguely enough based off
Here-
of what they have.
Do you
But
trust
here's
the
the thing.
woke writers of today?
Here's the thing. Tolkien was a very particular type of writer. He was a very, very descriptive, where some people would find it boring because he overly would describe.
Yeah.
So
The Two Towers.
Sort of like Eddie describing Bitcoin. No.
that's I can get into some Bitcoin. No.
Ed has a point. Ed has a point. I love the Lord of the Rings and I love the Tolkien mythos. The Two Towers, to this day, I will say it, and the fans may hate me. Fucking most boring book I've ever read. Most boring book I've ever read. Like when you read Game of Thrones and you get to Bran's chapter, with the kid in the wheelchair going through the snow. As bad as that made you feel, no, whole book of it is fucking. It's Sam and Frodo walking.
It's
That's
like
the Two
watching
Towers.
paint dry. Kid in a wheelchair going through the snow.
Literally, you would read this awesome chapter about Tyrion and this awesome chapter about Jaime, and then like the story that would always start, it would say Bran, and you'd be like, fuck. Damn it. Now there's 100 pages of this shit.
Yeah, let's give him the crown.
But the reason why Tolkien had so many issues getting his books initially
so
published
instead he wins the race, is that it?
was
exactly
because
right.
of the way his writing was. The publishers were like, people aren't going to like this. And it turns out, well, they were fucking wrong.
Right.
But it also means that the way he writes is very important for when you're telling the story, because you already have the world. You literally just have to take it off the page and put it in real life. Now, they don't have the rights to any of the earlier writing, which would be just as descriptive, I would imagine, as the main books.
I kind of disagree. I think that they have enough information to write good stories moving forward based off of.
But they're not
what
moving
they
forward.
do. I know. I'm saying moving forward as making the show in the past, right? But they can move forward with writing new material based off of what they have.
I'm gonna go with Nelson here. I'm gonna go with Nelson. I'm gonna be an optimist. I'm gonna try to say I want this to succeed.
So do I.
I want to believe in the creators. I want to believe in Jeff Bezos throwing all that money at it. I want this to be the next great fantasy. I'm a fan of the other great fantasies on Amazon Prime. I'm a fan of Vox Machina. I'm a fan of The Wheel of Time. Both of those are fantastic shows that you can get into while you're waiting for this.
And I think that there's enough people that love the lore enough that haven't had their chance to dive into as much as people in the Marvel cinematic universe.
But we are living in a world where there are people that make like what the beginning of Boba Fett was. And there are people that make the Joker 2 and say, I want it to be a fucking musical.
Yep.
And we live in this world with these people, and these people have creative control. And we do not know who is behind the wheels of this.
But we do
raise of
know
power.
that Jeff Bezos wants
We'll
it,
kill them if they fuck it up.
He
We know that.
wants it
We
to
know that.
succeed. So I think
He'll send them to space on a one-way trip.
that evil man is going to oversee to make sure, like, hey, you guys better keep this in line with what people want to see versus what you guys want to tell.
Maybe he wants the Dark Lord to win.
Yes.
Maybe
I hope,
because he is the Dark Lord.
listen, I would be okay with that too, as long as it's done right. I was all aboard on Game of Thrones for Cersei winning at the end of the day because I felt like she at least deserved it.
You're a monster.
I am. But in their
She
world,
was ruthless, I'll give her
in
that.
their world, ruthless equated to victory. It
In the
made
real
my
world,
She said,
in the real world, she
power
probably would've
is
won.
power.
Power is power, for sure. For sure. And I just, like, Bran can take over anybody he wants and become a hero, and he's like, I'm going to fly around in crows.
Here's
What
my
the
thing.
fuck, dude?
Here's my thing. Because Bran could do that, jump into stuff. I wanted to see this, and it never found out in the books. The books never told us.
Uh-huh.
But could Bran jump into a dragon?
Perhaps. Why not?
That'd have been OP.
But-
That'd have been OP. Well, what if he just took over?
Historically,
Drogon.
dragons were immune to, like, mind control.
And magic and
His,
certain
his-
things.
Except when the Night King brought his back.
Well, it was dead at that point. So perhaps because it was dead, there is a
Yeah, 'cause now-
necromancy loophole.
Now you have an undead dragon. It's
Right.
not necessarily considered a regular dragon.
Yeah, these rules.
Correct.
They stack.
Cause-
They stack.
They stack.
Magic.
They do.
This is why Harry Potter can beat Superman, because magic. Damn it.
So, I mean, I'm really excited. I really want Lord of the Rings to succeed. I do think that there's enough information for them to write good story. Whether they do or they don't is on them
Because
entirely.
you cannot fuck this up. I mean, Tolkien is literally the blueprint of modern fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah.
All modern fantasy, I say this time and time again, is either based off like the epic fantasy, which is Tolkien, or sword and sorcery, which is Conan.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what.
But which
it's
came
built off of.
first? Was it D&D or Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings, probably. When he wrote it after World War
I
One.
think Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
came before.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
Tolkien came.
like,
Tolkien came back from World War One, and then he that's what he based the battle scenes in the book
Right.
about.
And
And then he wrote Lord of the Rings.
And it gave birth to so many things then.
Right.
Lord of the Rings.
Well, that's why the depth of the Tolkien mythology is so. That's why there's an Elvish language with 10,000 words in it.
Yeah.
That's why the orcs have like a hierarchy of how they're bred and like their military structure is so developed because of Tolkien's military service.
right.
He like was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take this knowledge and apply it to.
He went in
He's
deep
very
with it.
meticulous.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because when he died, it wasn't as big as it is today.
No, but
His
he was
books really took off. Like
It
The
was
Hobbit
afterwards.
after his death. Yeah.
he was into that world building, which is why it's lasted for so long. Which is why things,
And a lot of people got into it. Look at J.K. Rowling. Look at the girl that wrote the Hunger Games. There's people that go into
No,
it.
J.K. did the same thing. She wrote the background for the world for
She
10,
built-
15 years
Yeah, she built a
before
world.
she wrote the books. So,
Yeah.
like, she already wrote everything and then filled in the books afterwards.
smart.
So she already knew where everything was going to end before she first even started.
And then she got political.
Yeah, congratulations.
And now we got a gay Dumbledore.
How dare you have an opinion counter to mine?
Yes,
Damn it.
yes. So we had touch base quickly on Shazam,
Yep.
which is DC's kind of version of
I enjoyed the
Thor,
first one. I enjoyed
Love
the
and
first one.
Thunder. It's funny. It's clever. It's got superheroes.
When's Black Adam play into it?
That would probably be if I had to say like a part 3 of some
Yeah, because
sort.
they really
Like
have
he-
they showed who the villain is? Because they haven't.
In Black
In what?
Adam?
No. For the
Maybe
second
it's
Shazam movie.
Oh, they did, yeah. The
goddesses.
The goddesses,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It was
Helen
Lucy Liu
Mirren
and
in all her
Helen
agility.
Mirren. Yeah. She's basically like the female
exactly.
version of Liam Neeson.
Exactly. Oh, God.
She really is. Just don't make her
She
run.
make- she makes-
Please don't make her run.
She makes Liam look fast.
So it's a half a dozen 20-year-olds playing teenagers. They're fighting.
Helen Mirren,
Helen Mirren.
who's going on 140.
Yes.
Get behind her. She can't turn. Her hips
No,
aren't the same.
it seems like they're going to war with the gods in this movie.
A lot of God stuff lately. I like it.
Yeah, and I like it. I think if Black Adam comes into their world, it's definitely going to be like either
An end scene thing.
like a big third movie, or
Put him in the end. Put him in the ending credit.
yeah. And if they're making him this anti-hero, they may not even clash with each other than more like a civil war kind of a aesthetic where they fight. We're on the same team, but you kill and I don't.
Yeah.
And then they join forces to fight the bigger bad. That would come into play. That's what I see coming down the pipeline, which I'm okay with too.
The Civil War in the movies was a lot more mild than it was in the actual comics.
Yes.
Where they sent the Hulk off the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the comics, it was like 50 on 50. So,
And the comics was, there was a lot more death and destruction in the comics. They took it more seriously.
Yeah, the Civil War in the comics, it was started because of that one hero's nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah. He blew himself up or whatever in a neighborhood.
And you know who played a large factor in the Civil War? The Iron Fist. Your favorite superhero.
Or as I like to call it, whitewashed Shang-Chi.
Well, now Disney had announced recently that the majority of the Defenders will be coming back.
And they're redoing Defenders.
They're redoing the Defenders, but they are saying,
Is John
the
Bernthal?
the main actor from the Iron Fist
Is the only person not
coming
confirmed to be coming back.
he said on Twitter,
Because I killed him.
like,
This is my confession
He
live
may
on
not
the
be
air.
coming back. In which case, I wonder if they're gonna tap on the shoulder the girl that played in the Iron Fist, because she does have the power, so she could essentially take over his role in the Defenders universe.
She could, but if they're retelling, because they didn't say they're continuing, they said they're retelling the Defenders. So if they're going to be redoing the story, I don't think they're going to. I mean, I don't see them not bringing her in. It's not like she did a bad job, but if they're avoiding him, they may avoid anyone from the Iron Fist in general.
But then you got to ignore Liu Kang. You got to ignore the Night Nurse.
No,
you gotta
not the
ignore
Defenders, just
Did you say
the
Liu
main
Kang?
cast of Iron Fist.
Luke Cage. Oh yeah, you're right, man. My bad.
He's the
Good
other
catch.
other cousin
Woo,
of
Shay would
yeah.
have eaten me up. He was like, did he say Liu Kang 3 minutes and 47 seconds into
Shay at his house, whenever we make a mistake, he starts going, starts to vibrate. My phone goes off. It's like, oh, shit. I'm sorry,
we
man.
appreciate and love him for it. Thank you, Shane.
He's the great autocorrect.
That's right. That's right.
He's the watcher.
He's the watcher.
He's in the sky. Like, Shay, can you... I'm trying to use the bathroom, man. Can you fucking back off?
But it'll be interesting to see what they do and if they retell the whole Iron Fist, because technically the Iron Fist was an outsider who gets the power, so it wasn't a white. I mean, the comic may have been considered. You can maybe consider the original source material a whitewashing of what should have been an Asian character. But that's what the comic is.
It's a hero out of place. That's
however many
it's a classic,
decades now at this point.
Yeah, but that's the classic story. Hero out of place. He didn't belong, lost in a foreign land, obtains the power of the people, and becomes their protector. Like, that is a timeless story.
I mean, they've been doing that since David Carradine took Bruce Lee's job in Kung Fu. I mean,
wow. But, yeah, I guess so.
yeah. What's Hollywood's argument? We gave him the Green Hornet.
And then took
He
that
was
away.
Kato. He had a mask.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, you're right, I guess.
Because who's a better, lead for Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Bruce Lee.
Now,
David, I choked myself Carradine.
Yeah.
the second one. Now, going into Echo, which is going to be another Disney Plus show, they are
The
saying
dolphin?
Kingpin. How dare you? Kingpin
Echo, the
and
dolphin. The game.
Kingpin and Daredevil are going to
supposed to be in there.
in that show as well.
Okay. Well,
Echo is the disabled superhero. You don't remember from Hawkeye, the girl that was the villain.
She's
in the
also
show?
deaf.
I remember.
She's
Yes. We're just checking.
How's that work? Does
Yeah, but she's
Her name's Echo, and
right.
she's
So
deaf.
that's how she uses her powers. Like Daredevil, right? Daredevil kind of has like an echolocation kind of a vibe going to him. So maybe he plays a part in teaching her some new stuff. Who knows? Because she is a pretty skilled fighter all on her own.
Yeah, she was throwing down the roof there for a while with them.
Yeah, so
she
you'll have
can fight.
deaf versus blind.
Yeah.
I choose neither.
I choose not to get into
I
that.
choose death. No, we're just kidding. We're here. We accept everybody here at Sofa King of Play.
But they
What'd you eat?
Huge ass pit in that kiwi or something. I don't know what the fuck.
some pics of D'Onofrio working out and getting in shape were popping up online and everything. So looks like it's getting ready to get into production.
And he's already a big man. So like,
Yes.
if he's trying to get bigger and shredded, that's a scary Kingpin, if you ask me.
Well, they really kind of established he's got like a level of super strength in the Hawkeye series there, because he wasn't just big and strong. He was like
He was tossing
he
some
was
shit.
throwing people around like they weighed nothing. So
Right.
they really are establishing. Oh no, he's got a little bit of power behind
The
him.
Kingpin's extremely strong. And I mean, not as overpowered as they did in the Spider-Verse, though. I mean, he was literally the size of a city bus. He was so big in that. I was like, wait a minute, like. Yeah, he would draw some attention.
A little liberty with his
how do you make a fucking suit for that guy? He's got a head that's a normal sized human head, but like his body is the size.
Big old bowling ball for a man.
Yeah, I was like, nah, this don't work.
There's another trailer that we've seen, and it's a video game that no one will play. I'm quite positive.
Robocop. Oh,
who the fuck greenlit that project
with the PlayStation 2 graphics?
God damn, it looked like shit.
The facial animations looked awful.
It looked like the king of generic shooters. It was probably another game, and they're just like, we needed an IP. I don't know, Robocop.
Yeah.
And they threw it on there. It looks like
cash grab. It's a cash grab.
It should go straight to arcade. I hope they don't try to like make a disc. It should just be like one of those free straight to arcade games. Like, not like the quarter arcade. I'm talking about like the games, the Game Pass arcade, like straight Goat Simulator.
like straight to video.
Say goats.
Yeah, I'm not sure what studio is making it, if it's a AA or a AAA. And, because you will get AA's that'll do that to try to show what they can do, so that they can get to the AAA level. But it looked extra generic.
Yeah, it just seemed like something I'm not interested in whatsoever at all, in no shape and fashion or form. Just I don't want any RoboCop video games. You know what I mean?
No.
The movie was okay. The movie was okay back in its time, and that's it. It came and went.
Do you guys remember how graphic RoboCop actually was?
The opening scene where the cop got shot to pieces. Yeah,
and then like people are melting in toxic waste.
Yeah, you got away with some different shit back then.
Yeah, they were saying that at some points during the creation of that film, they had to be like, you guys have to stop. No one will watch this shit, because not only were they kind of teetering on the line of newer graphics, but it looked so real to people that they were like, who's really gonna watch this shit?
Yep.
It was a success, but yeah, it definitely, at the time, people were walking out of the movie theaters because it was so grotesque.
They shot him to pieces. They shot the character so many times in the opening scene, like his arms, like chunks of them were flying off.
Yeah.
They blew him to pieces.
Yeah,
like,
people were like, what are we watching?
Yeah.
Because at that time, too, it wasn't just innovative technology as far as what was going on with the destruction of the body.
You got to break him down to build him back up.
Right. But people were just like, they weren't ready for it. They were going in there trying to see like an action, like a Beverly Hills Cop kind of lethal weapon, and then motherfuckers is getting blown to shit and melting in toxic waste, and they're like, nah, this isn't for me.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, though. Good movie.
Yeah.
One of those 80s franchises that stood the test of time.
It did. And, I wouldn't watch it again, but there was a story that I have. It was a weird thing that happened to me. I was at Universal Studios, and we were on the line for the Harry Potter train, where you go...
Hogwarts Express.
Yeah. And some guy had his phone out, and he's walking up and down the line saying, I was in Robocop. Check it out.
Yes.
And like he's showing you this still of like 30 people, and then like one guy way in the back. See that? That's me. I'm in Robocop. I was like, that's great, buddy. Keep it moving. And then he was just like, what do you want? Like a free
How much
t-shirt?
did you get paid?
You want me to ask you for your autograph?
Yeah, how much did you get paid?
You were like not even an extra. You were like an extra's extra.
Dickhead number 5 in Robocop. Congratulations, sir.
You weren't even an extra enough where you got shot. You just lived in the background.
Did they mention you? They mention you? Okay.
Did blood fly on you from the guy being shot? Because if you didn't, then you weren't mentioned. But yeah, people hold on to shit like that. That was, to me, when I seen that, I was like, that's Al Bundy's. I scored 5 touchdowns in my high school game, senior. Like, he's holding on to that shit for the rest of his life. So, I mean.
I had some kid tell me he was in Forrest Gump one time, and it was like the scene, like the Million Man March or whatever. I was like, that doesn't fucking
That don't count, no.
How am I ever going to figure, like, who cares? Who gives a shit?
He's like, there I was. Look, right there. It's like, is that the top of your scalp?
When it's like 10,000 extras, you weren't there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, anybody could have been an extra in that.
I think the coolest story for extras did happen in a Star Wars TV show. It was actually in The Mandalorian.
Yep.
where there's a troop of people that make their own stormtrooper costumes, and they were low on actors and costumes, so they reached out to this local band of nerds that make their own suits and actually threw them in the show. Their suits were screen accurate and ready to go that these motherfuckers picked up.
Yeah, they go to different conventions and everything like that, and like parade marches and whatnot. And while they were filming, they realized they didn't have enough outfits to film the scene the way they wanted. So they reached out to them, and I'm drawing a blank on their name right now, and they didn't even tell them what they were doing. They were just like, we need as many of your guys as you can get for this day and time. And then when they showed up, they're like, "Oh shit, we're gonna be in the show."
yeah, and they loved it. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, it was in the Mandalorian, in the scene where they're in the bar, and they got all the troopers outside, and they're setting up the big gun and everything.
Oh, so it was the standoff.
Yes.
Yes, Gina Carano is inside and all that.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. That's kind of like, hey.
I
finally paid off for something.
I wish they would bring Gina back in The Mandalorian. I liked her as Carradine.
I did too, and I don't know if that movie that she put out, if it flopped or not.
Oh, the one with Donald Cerrone.
Yeah.
I hope it does good, but I don't know.
I liked her as her role.
Which, by the way, Donald Cerrone is now officially retired.
Oh, yes.
There we go. It's the 501st Legion. That's what they call themselves.
Yes, okay. So Donald Cerrone, he did retire from his last loss, correct?
Yeah, he fought Jim Miller the last
short notice, too, right?
Yeah, it was because it was supposed to be Joel Ozon, then Jim Miller was in.
He always got the short straw with a lot of that because he was always willing to take the fight on short notice, which is not often very good for the fighter because you're cutting down quick.
I think he just wanted to fight.
Preparing for somebody that you weren't initially planning to, or not enough time to prepare for.
It's admirable, but not really the.
I think he was. I think at this time he was just taking whichever opponent he could because he wanted out.
He needed one last little.
Yeah, he wanted out, and because he even said to Joe, he said, "My heart's not in it anymore." Blah blah. And
I mean, he's fought like a soldier, like a warrior for a long time.
He's been a fan favorite.
He's
been a fan favorite. So I mean, it's I actually met Donald Cerrone at Shogun Fights in Baltimore one time. He actually took time to talk to me.
Nice.
Real nice guy, and I was pleased to find he was as much of an asshole in person as he was on television, and that was important to me. That was important.
Right.
I was asking him about the guy he was fighting then at the time in WEC, Jamie Varner, who had a short stint in the UFC, and I was like, "Do you really not?" And he proceeded to tell me how much he fucking hated Jamie Varner. And I was like, all right, this guy is every bit the character. He's not like a Colby Covington. He doesn't play that cowboy. He is that cowboy.
Sometimes it is okay to meet your heroes.
It was very okay to meet my hero. So I was like, all right, this works for me.
That's cool, man. Yeah. No.
So enjoy your retirement, Donald.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Who else? We got any other big fights coming up?
There's one tonight. Who the hell is Rafael Dos Anjos is fighting that Vazeev or whatever, the Russian dude that fights out of Thailand. That's gonna be a good fight, but I think that's just it's a fight night. I think. Yeah. Right. The next, Israel Adesanya just fought. His next fight though is the one we want to see. Israel Adesanya's next fight is going to be against the last man that knocked him out in kickboxing, Alex Pereira.
Okay.
And that dude is
looking for a little redemption.
Horrifying. That guy just knocked out Sean Strickland in 2 minutes. That guy is no joke. Like if you stand up in front of him. Bad things happen. That dude is ridiculous. He's probably got, in fact, I'm not even going to say probably, he's got the best left hook in MMA, without a doubt. And it was, until he started fighting MMA, the best left hook in kickboxing. If he hits you with it, it's very strange. It sounds like a whip cracking. He puts you out.
Speaking of cracking that whip, Eddie, cue the music. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast, where you can find all our podcasts on. Thanks, Eddie. Great.
You're changing it up on me? What are we doing?
You gotta spice it up sometimes. You gotta add a little salt.
You just gotta let spice it up.
Spice it up on the fly.
I only spice it up
You
on the
invited us
fly.
over for cheesecake and you put jalapeno in it. What are you doing?
Social media, Sofa Kingdom OFC.
And you can
YouTube,
find
Sofa
us-
Kingdom Podcast.
Was that so
Nelson
hard?
forgot
Was
how to
that
end the
so
fucking
hard?
show.
Was that
and he's
so
trying
hard?
to turn that
Please.
shit around like, I wanted to do that.
No, sometimes.
Please tell people about us.
Sometimes I like to throw a little monkey wrench in there. You know.
If you see our videos, please like, please share,
Yes.
please leave a comment. Let us know
Follow
you
us.
hate us. Let us know you like us.
Subscribe, all that good stuff.
Get us out there.
Yes.
Free us.
Freedom.